Morning, morning, morning. Late tea time podders around the world. We are looking forward to day two. It's not quite the second round initially at the Masters, but day two at the Masters. James and DT with you. A lot happened yesterday. I didn't see all of it because I was elsewhere, but I did come back in after work yesterday and watched a very muscular looking Tiger Woods strolling around the course like he owned the place. It was quite nice to see.
It was nice to see. He was walking a lot better. Which was always encouraging. It was quite painful, wasn't it, to see him sort of limp around in previous events. But he hit a nice opening drive, but left to right on that. And then he finished the day 1 under, and he could have, a lot of players, high up in the world rankings would have taken 1 under because quite a few big names struggled.
One player that we almost dismissed yesterday, said that we'd almost forgotten he existed, is top of the leaderboard, DT. Bryson DeChambeau had an excellent first round.
He did. He birdied the first 3 holes, and then you think, is that just like a flying start and it'll evaporate? And now he kept it going. And they interviewed him afterwards, and he said, I think we touched on this, didn't we, where he said par for him at Augusta 67. And it's kind of like hung around him, that quote, as a sort of stick to beat him with. You arrogant so-and-so, that will teach you. But he was quite sort of humble about it. He said, I made a mistake, that I messed up. We all make mistakes kind of thing. So he's kind of taken it on board that was a bit of a brash comment, which he tends to come out with. He's an interesting old character, Bryson. But whether he can keep this going, I guess the interesting thing was if Scotty Scheffler wasn't the player who was one back, you'd think maybe Bryson could be a big contender here. But Scotty Scheffler just was like a thoroughbred yesterday, just cruising up to the, onto the, neck of the leader, and it's just, I don't know. Can we see him getting beaten from here?
It looks like he can only beat himself. I heard one of the commentators yesterday saying that Scotty Scheffler's best game is better than anybody else's best game at the moment. And so if he's anywhere near to his best, he's going to be, at least there or thereabouts. I'll show the top of the markets as we start into day two. Scotty Scheffler, who we wondered if he was too short yesterday. He's now 6-4. He's even shorter. Bryson's gone into 6-1. Max Homer played really well yesterday, 16-1. Rory has had a good start for once at Augusta, 18-1. Ludwig Oberg, 22. Tyrrell Hatton, who we kind of said never does anything there, 28-1. Joachim Neiman is 30-1. Nikolai Højgaard played well, 33-1. Brooks Koepka, 33s. Tommy Fleetwood had a nice little round yesterday. He's 33s. And Will Zalatoris looked like he'd never been away, 40-1 for him. The rest are bigger. Nice to see Victor Hovland as well, hitting some birdies and playing some good golf. My mate Victor is back. But how are we seeing day two? Because we've got kind of the remnants of the first round to get out of the way first, and then the second round starts. But the weather looks better today. Yeah,
the weather does look better today. I think we should be set fair now. So the plan is, I read this morning that I think it's 27 players have still got to finish off, so they'll get done, excuse me, quite quickly. And then they plan to start the second round as scheduled, so the tee times, will remain the same. So once these guys are through, Tiger, Fleetwood and a couple of others are done, Højgaard as well, he's got 3 to play, then we should be Friday through to Sunday, and then we finish on time.
This is Tiger's problem, isn't it? We talked about Tiger at the start, looking good, but he's got the remnants of his first round to play and then another 18. So in terms of a test of stamina, Tiger's got a little bit to do today, isn't he?
Yeah, it's probably not ideal for me. He said at least he'll be in the flow, because I think he has to do these sort of long warming up exercises to sort of get all the creaky parts going. And I think it's scheduled that there'll only be about 30 minutes between him finishing round 1 and starting round 2. So even though that looks bad, I think for Tiger, it means his body is kind of already ready to go. So in some ways, it sort of suits him. But he'll be tired tonight. I can be assured of that. Yeah.
He's made the cut in 23 consecutive appearances. Augusta. If he makes it this time, he could set a record, couldn't he?
Yeah. And obviously one of our bets was Tiger to make the cut at 10-11. I mean, that's looking good, isn't it? That seems to be nicely on target. But in terms of like what happens today, I mean, there are some. You kind of think, oh, it's day one, isn't it? There's loads to play for still. The story of majors, and we say this time and time again, is that if you're not up there from the start, you're in big trouble. I mean, I found a couple of stats going through X last night from some respected writers. Justin Ray, sort of the great stats.
You've changed now, haven't you? You've gone to X from Twitter.
I know. You've got to at some point.
Oh, you're one of these forward thinkers.
So Justin Ray, one of the great stats guys. I mean, listen to this. 26 of the last 30 winners of the Masters have been within 5 shots of the leader after round 1. And then 90.5% of men's majors since 2000, the winner has been within 5 after round 1 as well. So if you look at the leaderboard now, which DeChambeau there 7 under, and that magic figure, you've got to be within 5. Almost always, you've got to be within 5. I mean, look at who that's ruling out. That's ruling out Finau, Cantlay, Fitzpatrick, McIlroy, Hovland, Cam Smith. There's like a load of guys who would have to kind of break that.
You wouldn't rule out Rory, though, would you? I mean, I saw his interview after his first round, and he said that for once he's got the ball around fairly tidily in the first round, and because what he's done in previous or recent Masters, he's been miles back and he's been chasing, but he's not so much this time. Well,
I kind of saw that 2 ways. I kind of picked up on where he stood on that. I think part of him was quite pleased that he got round in 1 under, and he'd not panicked because he did drop to 1 over after 3 holes, I think. But the problem he's got is that's fine, all well and good, but he's got Scotty Scheffler 5 ahead of him already. So can Rory keep employing this sort of plodding tactic when you've got this thoroughbred just absolutely on, you know?
If it was Smith and Sid Snott or something, first and second at the moment, who you never heard of, you'd kind of think, well, maybe discount the first 2 and everybody else is in contention. But with one of them being Scotty and a Bryson that's a bit of an unknown quantity really still in majors, you don't know if that is the real lead or not, do you?
Because it's these 2, I think that the -7 and -6 is where you base everything from. So, and the other thing Rory said was because he's playing alongside Scheffler, then at least he can sort of keep an eye on what he's doing. But that can work 2 ways. If Rory then starts to push because Scheffler's gone to 10 under, then he has to sort of get rid of this cautious tactic of just hitting greens and go for stuff, and then he could unravel. I don't know.
They asked him in that interview about, because he was talking about playing more conservative, sensible golf around Augusta this week, and but then in his answer to say that he kind of almost said that he wasn't, because he said, I bogeyed the second, then immediately birdied the third, which is basically what he's been doing for the last 2 years, isn't it? You know, bogey followed by birdie, followed by bogey, followed by birdie.
One good thing that I did see, again, I think this was from Justin Ray, was that McIlroy normally takes apart the par 5s. He normally devours them, makes birdies and eagles. Stat yesterday, he played the par 5s in even par.
Yeah.
And he'd gone 14 rounds of playing them at least under par. So Rory's got room to move into there in terms of, you know, he could pick off 3 of those and add another 3 under to his score. Problem is, Scheffler will birdie them all as well.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Anyway, before we get into your best bets for today, let's say thank you to our sponsors, the switchwatersupplier.com. If you're a business and you're looking to save money on your water bills, here's how to do it.
All golfers want to stay away from the water. That splash as your round sinks beneath the surface is never a good sound. But golf courses rely on water to keep those fairways and greens lush, for that post-round shower or the clean glass at the 19th hole. Golf courses, indeed most businesses, spend way too much money on their water bills. Switch Water Supplier can cut your water costs and help your business save money. Register now at switchwatersupplier.com. They will do all the hard work and get your business the very best price for your water supply and claim money back if you've been overcharged. Switchwatersupplier.com. Switching made simple.
Right, DT, enough of our waffle, and I'll look back at yesterday. Let's look ahead to today at Augusta. Where's the money going today?
So as I've said, this kind of magic number, you've got to be within 5. There's another stat I pulled out from X/Twitter from David Bielski, good guy.
Dave, stick with it. If you're going to go X, stick with X. Don't dilute it because of peer pressure.
Well, X then. I don't like X. Yeah, David Bielski, he's a good judge. I've seen him write some good stuff. And he's got a good stat as well. He said that in the last 25 years, only 2 golfers outside the top 10 after the first round have gone on to win the Masters. Those 2 golfers are Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson. So unless he says it, unless you're a generational talent, you need to be in the top 10 after round 1. So although we don't quite know the top 10 yet because the round 1 hasn't finished, and it's probably safe to say if you're at 2 under or better, that's tied 9th, then the winner is going to be kind of between DeChambeau 9 and those in tied 9th. As it happens, tied 9th is also within 5 of the lead. So that seems to be, however you come at it, it seems to be that's where you need to be. So looking at the name, reading back up from the top 9 upwards. So you've got Fleetwood -2 after 10. If he stays there, then he could win the Masters. Lucas Oberg -2 after 11. He's in a good position. Patrick Reed is there. But the one I like, who's quite a big price, I think you mentioned it, to back now, this is our official halfway tip, is Will Zalatoris. I think you said he was 40s, did you?
Yes, and he knows his way around, doesn't he? Old Will. He's had that injury. He's come back from it, and he looks like he's back to somewhere near his best, isn't he?
Yeah, so he's played in just 2 Masters and finished 2nd and 6th. So that's a fantastic record. More good play yesterday. I looked at his stats actually just to see that it was a proper all-round effort, and it was. He gained strokes in all the strokes gained categories. Just read you some of those. Just solid, really. He was 33rd putting, 17th in approach, 10th tee to green. So all his numbers were good. Just touching on those, by the way, the best putter yesterday was Bryson DeChambeau. He ranked first for strokes gained putting, which kind of, I know that's really good. And you say, great, he's holding putts, but that maybe, kind of sugarcoats his score if he putted averagely.
You miss a few from here, Bryson. What else you got?
Yeah, so maybe that's why he shot that quite extraordinary number. It's a really good score that in windy conditions.
That's tremendous because it was really it was proper windy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think gusting up to 35 miles an hour at one point. But then you look at the Scotty Scheffler stats, and it's exactly what you would want from Scheffler. He ranks first for strokes gained tee to green. That's just Scotty Scheffler. All good numbers. And he's 29th in putting, which, okay, it's not the best, but it's still good. He still gains strokes on the green. If he's gaining strokes with the putter as well as his tee to green numbers, then, look out. So thought that was quite interesting. Just some of the other strokes gained numbers, like McIlroy's, I'll give you. He was 28th in putting, so he putted similar to Scheffler. He was pretty poor around the greens, McIlroy, 57th, and only 21st tee to green. So Rory's long game was sort of all right. Yeah. But you need to be better than all right against Scheffler.
He's worked a bit with Butch Harmon, hasn't he? Yeah, you mentioned if you're outside that little kind of like zone that you're talking about, you need to be a generational talent to kind of bounce back. I mean, Rory's only one out of that. Would you still include Rory in the catchment area of our selections potentially? Because he's a generational talent, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got 4 majors. That's pretty good, isn't it? Obviously, Tiger and Phil have got more than that. But yeah, I mean, you could argue. I mean, what is he? 16 to 1 each way. Is that
18's best price.
18. See, we've seen this before. McIlroy's come from a lot further back to finish in the top 4 or 5, even second once at the Masters. I think he's a legitimate each way bet from here.
Yeah,
that price. What is it? 4 places you get in now, I think, with most.
It is 4 or 5 basically. 6 at Boyle Sports if you go for them.
Yeah. So from here, I think if you wanted an each way bet on McIlroy, I think he's now that, as you said, he's got that decent start under his belt. I think he can go on from here and do well. But I just think it all comes back to Scheffler. That's the big. If he was down at even par, you'd think, oh, this is quite wide open. But because he's there, I mean, I saw a few sort of kind of pretend sort of memes, letters on X from like his wife saying, because she's about to give birth.
Yeah.
Like, they were sort of joking, "Dear Scotty, I'm about to give birth. You've got to leave the course immediately." I think that, send her, Tiger Woods or send her Bryson DeChambeau. So,
have you noticed the interviewer on after the 18th is heavily pregnant as well, by the looks of it?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
I'm not suggesting that Scotty Scheffler's baby as well, but I just wondered if they're having a little bit of a chat around the interview about what they're going to baby names and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I guess halfway tips then, definitely Will Zalatoris at 40s each way.
Not halfway yet. Quarter way tips.
Quarter way. I'm getting ahead of myself, literally. So definitely Will Zalatoris. If you think Scheffler cannot get beaten from here, and there will be plenty of people, and I'm almost in that camp, he's 6-4. He might be 4-7 by halfway, or 6-4. Couldn't put you off if you wanted to make that part of your staking plan. And I certainly think Rory each way is worth a look as well.
Trouble is with Scotty Scheffler, even if he has one bad round, he's still got two other good ones in him, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Because he's just as you said, a Rolls Royce of a player at the moment. His best is absolutely exceptional. I just wonder as well, you just going back to finally to your Will Zalatoris pick, 40-1, as you said, because he's been out for a while. He's a really good player already, wasn't he? Youngster coming through, got so close to majors. He'd be a very popular winner, I would think, if he was to get the green jacket this time around. But that little kind of time away from golf, where he's maybe had a bit of time to think and come back hungry. Some reflection time, some time to come back hungry. I can't have done him any harm either as well. So I'd imagine he seemed to be a very grounded and intelligent player anyway. But I don't think that little break will have done him any harm.
No, I did like him at the start of this week, and I thought everything pointed to a good performance. I know he'd had a couple of kind of iffy results in the build-up, but he's a good guy. I like him. He's he's a popular guy. Says the right things. Pretty humble as well. So hopefully he can give us a bit of a run. Yeah,
when Matt Fitzpatrick won the US Open and. Will Zalatoris missed his putt, but was really nice to all the family and stuff. I thought he just said a lot about him in terms of, in between all the disappointment, he was still a really good guy in the heat of battle. I thought that was really good. So good luck to him.
Yeah. Now we need to address the elephant in the room. Matsuyama was useless yesterday. I think we both tipped him.
Decky, what have you done to us?
A lot of people tipped him. I think of all the funny scores yesterday, his 76 was like, where's that come from? I mean, Danny Willett's 68 was incredible because he's not even meant to be playing golf yet after his shoulder surgery.
I was talking to our mutual friend Pete last night, and we were talking about Danny Willett, and he said it's just amazing. He's come back early from injury, and he's kind of at the top end of the leaderboards. And we were saying, kind of, if you're going to come back from injury a bit too soon, for the sake of having one great day at Augusta, it's probably worth it, isn't it? But he might not be able to sustain it.
No, I'd expect him to kind of fall away. But Matsuyama. But you told me off air you're keeping the faith on some level and backing him to hit back today.
I'm either a fool or a genius, but I've basically picked. I've got Hideki. I've had two bets today. I've stayed with him. I've kept the faith with you, Hideki, if you're watching, because I know you do. Gamble responsibly if you do, Hideki. But probably don't at all, because that's probably very naughty. But I've gone for him to get an eagle in round two at some stage. And I've also gone for him to be the best scorer in round two, because I can see him bouncing back. Yeah,
I think just I don't know what went wrong yesterday. I think he just sort of got off to a bad start, and then it just leaked away from him. It can do here. Yeah, it wouldn't be. I should have really checked this, but I've got a feeling there is a major somewhere where he was miles back and rattled through the field. He's never going to win from here in a million years, but he could still run into a place if he really gets going. I mean, it's asking an awful lot. But he has come from way back before to sort of still have a good finish.
Well, I said to you yesterday when we were talking about him that he's a player that can go on a good hot streak. And if he did that for 5 or 6 holes, got an eagle along the way, and got posted the best score in round 2, you're back in the friends enclosure, Hideki.
Yeah.
You're back.
If this was Tiger, you often hear the great players talk about if they can get back into red numbers. So I think for Matsuyama today, he'll be looking to shoot a 67. That will get him back to 1 under. It still might be a long way back, but it will get him through the cut definitely. And then from there, he could still kick on. But he's always one of these ones who's carrying some sort of injury. But I've not heard anything that. I think it's just one of them days that went wrong. So fingers crossed he can still produce something.
Yeah, you're still carrying my money, Hideki. So focus your mind, get nice and relaxed, forget the wind, just concentrate on getting a good score today, and I'll be right behind you, Hideki Matsuyama. Anyway, out there, good luck with all the. I'll take it that's everything.
Yeah, that's it for now. Yeah,
I should have checked that really before I started to wind up. Anyway, good luck with all your bets out there. Late tea time podders. This has been a sports broadcast media production. Thanks again to switchwatersupplier.com, our sponsors, and we will see you. It's a major. We're back every day, so we'll see you ahead of round 3 as well. Have a good day, everybody.
All golfers want to stay away from the water. That splash as your round sinks beneath the surface is never a good sound. But golf courses rely on water to keep those fairways and greens lush. For that post-round shower or the clean glass at the 19th hole. Golf courses, indeed most businesses, spend way too much money on their water bills.
Always gamble responsibly. Visit begambleaware.org for more information.